A1, call to order. A2, pledge of allegiance. Thank you. A3, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to have discussed as an action item? Do I have a motion that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda?
I move that we adopt the meeting agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Opeza. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you. Thank you. Moving to B, public comment. There is no public comment today. C, consent agenda. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the consent agenda items 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I move that we approve items C2, C3, C4, C5 on the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Opeza. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Claire Perry?
Good evening. President Conchas, governing board members, and Superintendent Maez. With your approval of the consent agenda, I would like to introduce you to Alhambra's new Director of Community Relations, Gabriel Gamino.
No audience, right? No pressure. Good evening, President Conchas, governing board members, Superintendent Maez. Gracias. Thank you for the trust and confidence that you have invested in me by voting to approve my promotion to serve as the Director of Community Relations for the Alhambra Elementary School District. As I stand here grateful for the opportunity, I want to thank my parents who join us in the audience today, Jorge and Silvia, my loved ones and colleagues for their unconditional support, and so that they understand clearly. Mientras estoy agradecido aquí por la oportunidad, quiero darle las gracias a mis padres que están aquí el día de hoy, a mis seres queridos y colegas por su apoyo incondicional. Quoting the words of the Italian author Ernesto Ceroli, the future of every community lies in capturing the passion, imagination, and the resources of its people. And I want to reassure the board tonight that just like I have since I joined the Alhambra team about 10 months ago, I will continue to work tirelessly alongside our leaders and teachers, both here at the district office and across our community, to communicate and market the phenomenal things that are happening both in and outside of our classrooms and schools, while also building mutually beneficial partnerships with organizations in our community. So once again, I thank you for the opportunity that you've given me tonight, and I look forward to continuing to serve the Alhambra community in this new role. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Gabriel, y bienvenidos a su familia. Todos son de la familia de Alhambra. All right, moving to D, comments and communications. D1, comments from governing board members.
I have one comment. I would like to encourage everybody. We have, as I walked in, the potential social studies curriculums are now on display. And so I would like to encourage everybody to take some time to come and look through the curriculums and grade them accordingly. I'd especially call out to parents. This is the curriculum that is going to be taught to your kids. And now is the time to have your voice heard. And so we do absolutely want to hear from you. I'm a parent. I will be walking through it. And so we highly encourage and value parental input in this process. It is not closed. It is open. All of the curriculum is available for you to look through. And so I'd highly recommend you to come out to the district office here and take some time to look through all of the curriculums that are on display here and to choose the best one. And so I'd appreciate all of the effort on that behalf. How long is it? It's a few months, right? 3 months? 3 months. So 3 months, but I'd encourage you, do it sooner than later. Please. And so we would love to see that. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder, Mr. Ope.
Comments? Thank you, Gabriel, for those words. I think over the past 10 months that you've worked here, you've done an amazing job. Yeah, just seeing the amount, the sheer amount and quantity and increase of our visibility on social media. You can tell that you're putting in the work and that it's not by mistake that you're quickly climbing the ranks here at Alhambra. And it was really nice to serve with you, volunteering on the COVID site. And I did bail after 2 hours. And Gabriel, he was there until they closed the thing down. And that kind of commitment is definitely appreciated. And again, highlight all the hard work that you've done. New title.
Thank you, Mr. Salute.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. I have a couple of things I wanted to say. Congratulations to you. Definitely our social media and our marketing has definitely moved up. It was our lucky day when you walked in and we hired you. So keep up the good work for sure. I wanted to thank the people for getting the discipline report out to us. I do appreciate that. And I also wanted to make comment about the hard work that Dana and the leadership committee did. I don't know if any of you out there noticed, but we have months now where we'll only have one meeting. And I think this meeting tonight is a good example of why we've done that. It's kind of more efficient to have one meeting a month, and I appreciate that that came forward and that we actually looked at how we could use our time more effectively. So I appreciate that. I also spent time at the Madrid neighborhood school. I passed out milk and lettuce for Nacho Day. It was great fun and great excitement. What a great team to have over there in our child nutrition services. They are absolutely amazing the way they are synchronized in what they accomplish and how they feed all those kids and even know which ones want chocolate milk, which ones want white milk. They knew before the kids got to the door what color milk they wanted. And also the ones that couldn't have milk, they had it down pat. I am so impressed. I know that some of us up here come from a district where all the food is prepared in a central kitchen and kind of shipped out. But in Alhambra, you actually have working cooking kitchens, which is such an amazing thing. Fresh food that's prepared right on the spot. And that is definitely a benefit to our students and our families. What I also discovered was, and you alluded to this a couple of weeks ago, we do not pay our people enough. I know we spend a lot of time working on raising teachers and certified staff salaries. We have really got to put some effort into how we pay our classified staff. They work very, very hard. They spend like 6, 7, 8, 9 years to make this much of a raise in their salary. We definitely have to work on that. And I want to thank Ms. O'Rourke and the staff over at Madrid for letting me come and spend the day in their lunch line. Very fun. Thank you.
First, I want to say thank you, Mr. Oropeza, because I know that many educators think that the decision has already been made. And so there's no point in lending their voice to the curriculum. So thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that. So those of you who know me, who have known me, know I have bus issues. I have the utmost respect for every bus driver on that street. Let me just tell you, I've already told you. I would rather be a classroom teacher with 100 kids any day than ride a bus with, drive a bus with the students, because again, your head is facing the opposite direction of them. So anyhow, so I had an issue with the bus driver at school, and so I had to call transportation, and I was really excited because he asked me, the person who is in charge right now, asked me if I could share this information. He has students that attend Alhambra, and he had nothing but high regards about the Choice Learning Academy. And so I really want to thank again, everyone that works at that school for everything that you're giving to our community. That was a big thing for us when we opened that school. And so just hearing a parent talk about it really was just really rewarding for us. So I just wanted to say thank you to Choice for doing everything that you're doing and making the parents and the students proud to be a part of that campus.
Anything else? Good? Thank you. I want to acknowledge those in our Alhambra community who have passed away in most recent weeks. Since our last board meeting, we received WeCare notifications. Those names are Oscar Peña Mendoza and Chad Snow. I would like to recognize some folks who have exemplified servant leadership and commitment to our mission of educating the whole child. Thank you to the entire team who worked on applying and securing a grant for from the NFL to construct a new athletics field at James W. Rice. I remember conversations with Mr. Islas and Dr. Mayas about the need to bring resources to renovate that huge open grass space at JWR. Also want to give a shout out to Melody Hodges, our IB coordinator at Global Academy of Phoenix, for preparing the district for our virtual visitation. I think that went very smoothly on Monday. And then once again, recognize Mr. Gabriel Gamino Guerrero, who has been promoted to Director of Community Relations and Marketing. This board started expanding the Community Relations Department last year when we approved a coordinator position, and it has grown into a full team. And just some updates from me. I met with the governing board presidents from Isaac and Phoenix Elementary to discuss their COVID-19 mitigation plans, discuss the expenditure limit and ways we can support one another. I attended the BOLTS training through ASBA and learned from other districts on the ways they organize their meetings and best practices for crafting board agendas. I joined the AESD Salary Committee yesterday as they prepare to bring final recommendations to the superintendent's leadership team. And I visited the vaccine clinic yesterday at Alhambra Traditional School. And they told me in the evening that they had about 58 people that got a vaccine, which is great. So keep up the good work. Final message, Happy Lunar New Year and Black History Month. I was going to read our Black Lives Matter resolution that passed in 2020, but I will just reference it and ask folks to take 5 minutes this month to read it and reflect on it. And lastly, I want to say thank you to all our staff who are working hard through the pandemic. We have seen our COVID-19 cases surge in January, and I'm hoping for a decline this month. Our principals have been navigating staffing challenges, student absences, and continue to implement our healthy teaching and learning protocols. Thank you. Moving to D2, Governing Board Direction and/or Agenda Item Requests.
This directive is for the board. I'm going to request that we continue to keep the lines of communication open regarding any additional meetings that are added to our calendar. So if we could please work with Dana to find out when we are all available prior to scheduling an unscheduled meeting.
Thank you. Anyone else? My request is to entertain a resolution on the aggregate expenditure limit and quarterly updates on our strategic plan. And moving to D3, comments from superintendent and executive team.
Good evening, everyone. I'll go ahead and, Mandy, I'll let you begin this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, President Conchas, members of the board. This week, I had the privilege of spending time with the staff from Sevilla East and West as they children entering this from the South Gate. And any child who was not wearing a mask would approach the grown-up and politely ask for a mask. Our kids are super sweet and super polite, and our staff are so welcoming. And this may sound commonplace, but what's important to remember is that this moment would not have been possible without the coordinated efforts of so many people across our district. Our business department, who makes sure that we are fully stocked with a humongous supply of pediatric and adult masks. Our office and health teams, who make sure that they keep an eye on their inventory and they order when they need them. Our warehouse, who make sure that those orders get to them in a timely manner. Our site staff, who put the plans in place, to keep our kiddos safe and supply what they need. And our HTL group, who made the plans to keep us all in line. And then our federal projects team, who figured out how to pay for it all. So lots of work behind the scenes that supported that successful 15 minutes that I had the privilege of observing, and I am super grateful to beside these teammates.
Good evening, President Conchas, Governing Board, Dr. Mayes. So I have the pleasure to recognize and celebrate our outreach coordinators. Ms. Billy and I had the chance to bring them together and begin our journey learning about the leadership role through the outreach coordinator, which is very different. It's very much a middle manager. And so we're unwrapping what that looks like and what that means. Such an enthusiastic group, such a group ready to jump in and ready to do their best. So I think it's more fun for me and Ms. Billy. But in addition to that, we know that this current pandemic piece has really taken its toll on us in January. And where we're seeing the spike kind of start to turn for us, the better, because it's going down. I want to recognize our outreach coordinators who haven't had their leader on site as much because of the impacts of everybody's getting hit. But these individuals have really stepped up and taken the lead and owned it. They have taken the full responsibility of the children and of the staff and have done their best to keep that ship moving forward. So I just want to shout out to them. Thank you.
Thank you both. Regarding Choice Learning Academy, I just wanted to share, as governing board member Kathleen O'Neill-France shared what the parent said. It reminds me of what our student leader who represents CLA said. She was sharing how she's in 7th grade now and in 4th grade. She said she's been there since 4th grade. And she said, I just can't even explain it. It's like a miracle happened. And the way she's very dramatic in how she shares too. And so it was so cute to hear her say how from then to now it's a miracle, and how happy she is. But regarding, thank you, Mandy, for acknowledging all the hard work that goes into keeping our kids and our staff safe. Regarding cases, good news, we did have decreases in the cases per 100,000 people. We had a 647.73 decrease over last week. And as far as percent positive, we had a 12.66% decrease. So thankfully it's starting to go down. And again, I just am so grateful to everyone for doing all that they can to keep our kids safe while at the same time keeping our focus on our mission. This week, I had the privilege of being with many of our leaders here. Some of our site leaders and teachers were with us at a conference learning that reminded us of just the importance of making every day count for our children. They reminded us of how critical it is that our kids leave us with the skills necessary to be successful in both post-secondary education and or college and or career. And so every day is important. And they reminded us leaders how our fundamental purpose is to ensure that all have the knowledge and all have the skills and dispositions to be successful, from our kids to our adults that we have the privilege of serving. And so while we continue to mitigate and we continue to do everything to keep everyone safe, I just want to remind us all that our kids are counting on us and their futures are counting on us. And so many of our kids that are in poverty, you know, that we know what's at risk if they don't learn the skills necessary to be successful. And we just know that they all have hopes and dreams. And I think about Gabriel. Congratulations to you, Gabriel. And I know we share stories about just how our own stories in poverty and how we're so grateful for the education that we've received and where we're at today because of that. And so I know our leaders here are excited about the journey ahead, as we know that that there is so much that we are in control of to ensure that our kids are able to achieve their dreams. And so I thank you all, and I'm excited to implement all that we learned for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mayes and executive team. Moving to E, meeting closing. E1, next governing board meeting. The next regular governing board meeting will be held on February 17th, 2022. The diversity training here at the district boardroom on February 10th at 5 p.m. has been postponed. E2, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropeza. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.